You know, keeping any vehicle clean is something that you just gotta stay on top of. But this is a whole new level. Having a bread truck, there's a lot of space. And of course, we're trekking in and out of it daily. So it's just, it fills up with dirt pretty quick. Here's my old license plate. Should I hang it up somewhere? Does anybody else start out the morning giving their bread truck a sweep? Because that is now part of my daily routine. We trek in a lot of dirt in the course of doing business around here. We're going to the mechanic today. Gonna have some fluids changed, just some routine maintenance done on this bad boy. And that's how we're gonna start the day. Luckily, our mechanic is right next door to a great Goodwill and just down the road from a Desert Industries. The beautiful thing about a step van is you can leave the doors open and you can pick somebody up on the fly. Just, hey, hop in, come on up in here. You go all right?
Yeah, it just took forever.
All right, well, we've got about just enough time to make it to our mechanic. Well, we just had a major development. A major development. Show them.
You'll never believe this. It's gone!
It just blew off!
Windshield wiper blade? No windshield wiper blade. What?
I've never had that happen. I've never had that happen.
We were just minding our business, using the windshield wiper.
It started raining, ice raining, and I turned them on and it just went shoot. I'm sure that little mechanism was bent out a little, it needs to be squeezed back together, but that's a first for me. It just flew off, we just both watched it.
No!
All right, we are at the mechanic. Let's go see what we're gonna get done today. Be good to my baby, okay? They're gonna definitely give it an oil change and do an all-around inspection, and I'm hoping they have time to just kind of take me to the engine and point out some things that I might have missed. I want to know as much about it as possible. But we're gonna walk next door here to Goodwill and see if we can't find anything. This is usually a pretty good Goodwill, but honestly, we only ever end up here like when we're going to the mechanic and stuff. So, well, we did drive up here. We made a special trip, remember, a couple weeks ago, and I bought all those Furby.
Oh yeah.
McDonald's Furby. That's this Goodwill, so maybe it'll go all right. Check the toys first. There's some weird looking stuff right there. Mastodon. $2.49. That's not bad. And Groot. I found out last time that we were here that all the way in this back corner, there's the corner of the building. This is where the bag toys are now hid. They used to be over that corner. They've moved them. So I will not neglect to check them. Is that Hagrid? Sure is, but I'm not paying 10 bucks for them. That's awesome. I should probably check the value on him, make sure he's not wildly rare or something. I don't know a lot about Harry Potter figures, so I'll check, but I sure don't want to spend $10 on them.
The stuffed animal section here is making me feel like a tiny person. Look at all these giant stuffed animals. Like, did I shrink or did Mickey just get massive? Giant unicorn. Giant narwhal, there it is. A giant elephant. Another giant unicorn. A giant giraffe. Giant horse. And a giant dog. Wait, is this a billy goat? It's a billy goat. This is funny. Why are there so many giant stuffed animals here? This is funny.
Mind how wonderfully organized all these board games and puzzles are. Beautiful. Makes them a lot easier to look through. Old memory game. Simpsons Jeopardy edition. Jeopardy Simpsons edition, $3.49. Let's hold on to that.
Do you notice how many giant stuffed animals there are here?
I didn't really. So let's see what they are. What is that?
It's a billy goat.
It's the goat and then a pony. It's not giant, but I quite like that.
Yeah, she's cute.
That's not.
It's Kanga.
Is that Kanga?
Yeah. Where's Rue?
She's a little expensive. I don't know. If that had Rue in it though, that'd be a definite buy. Those are big. Is that just a pony?
It's a unicorn pony.
Oh, I didn't see that. What a weird. Ooh. Sloth mode. Oh, he's dead.
Boo.
Bruh!
Yes.
I grabbed him by his nose. How much is he? $7.49.
He's massive.
That is wild. I don't need more plush right now, but that is pretty crazy.
There's an entire basketball team worth of Phoenix Suns troll dolls here. They're exactly as creepy as you think they are. Oh, he's even got the mustache and beard. That's hilarious. That's some dedication. Someone really loved their team, but not anymore because they donated them to Goodwill. So these are pretty cool. Some pool ball glasses. I like all things billiards and, you know, those like bar games. I don't know what else, foosball, that kind of stuff. This is kind of cool. Spin it with gloves, don't drop it. Ziggy 7-Up series. These are pretty.
Tomater, and then giant tomater. Huge. It must be remote control. Yep. No remote though.
What do you think, guys? Do I need it? She looks so scared. Aww. The last time we tried to grow a chia pet, it did not go well. We got like one tiny little sprout and then it died.
All right, well, Jeopardy. Rip Alex Trebek.
Aww.
Still bummed that he's gone. I am an avid Jeopardy watcher. Don't know if I've ever said that on the channel, but
He is.
I very much still am. All right, so we're walking back over to our mechanic. Some unfortunate nonsense. I emailed my normal mechanic way ahead of time before bringing this over to discuss an inspection with him, and I made very clear in my email it's a step van. I knew before contacting him that sometimes regular mechanics don't want to work on fleet style vehicles. Said this all in the email. They're like, no, it's fine, bring it over. And as soon as we walked over to this Goodwill, they called us and said we can't work on it, it's too big. So miscommunication, frustrating. We're gonna go get it, take it elsewhere, or I'll just give it an oil change myself today and dig a little deeper myself. I don't know, but we're gonna have to find a bigger, badder mechanic for the bread truck is what we learned today. First lesson of the day: the bread truck needs its own mechanic. All right, well, I guess if there's one possible silver lining to our mechanic screwing us up, on the way to the mechanic today, Hannah found some free wood pallets pretty close to where we're at, and we were like, well, we're probably not gonna be able to get these because we gotta be at the mechanic for a couple hours. So since we can head there, we're gonna head there now and see if there's any left. There's some specific woodwork we figured we could get out of the way cheap in the back with some wood pallets. So let's go see what we can get. No idea how this is about to go. If there's none left, it'll just be the second failure today. We have room for one more before we strike out. Move all of this as tightly as you can. Matter of fact, put the little tools and stuff in between the chairs.
Okay.
work ahead of us. Look at this. I didn't count how many we put in there. We put a bunch. We're gonna go looking for, we're gonna go tear these apart and use them to wood panel the sides of this. Free wood. It's not gonna be easy work because we have to cut them all, remove nails, but it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. This one's rotten. I'm gonna put it back.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. Woo! Woo! Well, Hannah said she wanted to wood panel this thing with pallets just to keep down on the price. I mean, we're looking at several $100s worth of wood to do the same paneling that we did in our other van. Honestly, this is gonna be way more work, but we have the time, we have the drive, so we'll get this done this way. I don't know if we're gonna start tearing these apart today or not. I don't want them to stay in the back of this van, but on the same token, I think it'll be good to drive this thing with a bit of a load and see how she does, so stick around. Okay, we're about to introduce some of you guys to something new. Some of you are gonna know about this, but not everyone. This is a Habitat for Humanity restore. And this is like a thrift store, but a thrift store for cabinetry and home repair and that kind of thing only. It's all leftover stuff from these guys. Mission Habitat for Humanity builds houses for people, and this is like leftover supplies or overstock, you know, stuff they don't need. So showers, tile, just all that stuff for thrift store type prices. So get used to this store because this one's pretty close to our house, so we'll be coming here pretty regularly to find stuff for the van. Right now, we don't have any plans to buy anything. We're just going to start stopping here as part of our regular routine. And then on top of that, there's several of these types of stores around town, whether they're the Restore brand or not. And there's a few people watching that have been commenting that have let us know they're really into van build channels. And if you are, you're going to be familiar with this store because like van lifers, van builders, camper builders, those kind of people, they religiously shop at this kind of store. We're definitely going to be those people because it's such a great store, and I'm excited about it. I'm hoping there's a couple things that if they're there and cheap enough today, I will buy. So let's get in there and find out. Are you as excited as I am?
I am.
I'm still a little bummed about this windshield wiper just being ripped.
Oh my god.
Let me out. All right. Jacket me. I will say though, we got to get home and get these pallets cut up because I do not want all that stuff in the back of the van. I hate not being able to throw whatever I want back there. It's full of pallets right now, but I got a plan on how to cut them up real easy, make it real easy on us instead of hammering every nail out. I got a plan, okay? I got a plan.
He's a man with a plan!
You'll often see other camper vans. It's gonna be a little difficult to see way over there. A Sprinter conversion parked outside of this place. A lot of people doing what we do come here. Very excited, very, very.
This is really interesting. They have crates and crates of wine bottle glasses. So it's a wine bottle that they cut off. It's a really smooth edge on it. Very interesting. Like, why do they have so many of them? Super interesting. $1 each.
This is the super discount sticky squares. I wish there's enough turf. I'd totally do AstroTurf.
No.
Not interested.
You want to build cat perch?
Well, that's all really discounted because there's like not enough of it for anything. We could probably get enough of that blue. That's nice, but that's instant dirty.
Cat perch!
Instant dirty is what that is.
Ooh, they have rugs. I love rugs. $100, $120. This isn't speaking my language. I want like $10, $20, maybe 50, maybe, if it's like the most beautiful rug I've ever seen in my life, but these are a bit too pricey for me. Ooh, but that one is pretty. Well, it's something. It's eye-catching. We'll call it that.
So here you go. Lots of cabinetry, right? So just so you know the kind of prices, this whole huge thing, $199. Pretty cheap, all things considered. Not looking for anything that big. I'm looking for a lot of small stuff like this to mount to the upper part of our ceiling. So like cabinet space that's about eye level, that kind of thing. And this is actually a pretty small one of these stores as far as these stores go. There's one across town I'm excited to go to that's just huge. It's a warehouse. See, like $10. That's just a square box. I want to find a price tag on this. Well, this is the style cabinet, maybe even a little smaller. I'm thinking about putting above our bed for our clothing and such. So there's 2 or 3 of them here. That one and those 2. None of them have prices. So it's $1.50 per inch front width. So $1.50. It's interesting.
It is interesting.
It's really strange. I mean, okay, that's cool. Good to know.
Here's something that was nice to stumble into. Paint section. 1 gallon of primer, $12.50. I mean, these are 5-gallon buckets, so I don't know how much these are. $25. That seems pretty cheap. I haven't bought a 5-gallon bucket of paint in a while, but you know, I guess you don't get to pick your color too much. If you're not picky, that's totally fine. It's good to know though. They've got a ton of it. Absolute ton. $7 for mostly pretty much all full.
Pretty much as soon as I run into like 4 of the same ones of one of these styles, that's what I'm gonna get. It's perfect. Lots of flooring. Looking for something like this for our sink. So that's a good option. Maybe something just like that, but maybe even a little less deep, just so we can keep all the extra space. See, like something in between this one and that one. That's not quite tall enough though. That one's too wide. This is why we'll have to frequent these kinds of stores so the right one shows up. So we didn't find anything there to pull the trigger on. But we did find an instant like giddiness of like, oh my god, this is perfect, and it made us want to go to another store. We were gonna not go today because we don't want to take up too much time. We want to get to cutting these pallets, but the other store that we're gonna go to, we stumbled into once upon a time. It was the same kind of store, but even bigger and more ridiculous, and I think even cheaper, as we recall. So we're gonna drive over to the other one and just see how it compares to this one, so we know what's what. We just got really excited in there, so let's go to the other store. We've got time.
Yay!
I can't wait to go in this place. We've only been in it once, ages and ages ago. We stumbled across it because right up here on this window it says thrift store, and we were driving by it once and saw that. We're like, great, a thrift store we've never been to. And we went inside, it's a thrift store just for home stuff. So we were like, well, we don't need this now. But I remember even remarking at the time, one of these days when we get our own house or get a conversion vehicle, we'll have to come back to this place. And it's kind of weird and surreal coming back to it for the second time exactly for that. So stick around. Thrift store, Stardust Building Supply. If you want to look it up, if you're in Phoenix and want to know where it is, just Google Stardust Building Supply. It'll pop up. Way more. Rows and rows and rows more.
It's wild.
This is why I immediately want to come in here when we went to that other store, because I remember this being so much better.
Yeah, it's just as huge. That's all I remembered from it.
All right, well, let's get to looking. Hannah, mind the prices. We'll discuss it afterwards. We're definitely looking for, listen, we're definitely looking for like something small and ceiling worthy like this, but multiple. $10. Way better. Way better. Something repeatable. Something that you like. Here's a good example. See, maybe not. That's even smaller. That's getting better and better. That's got duct in it.
This is something I wanted to see. Have a whole section of flooring. They've got a bunch of tile here, which cool, but that's a lot of weight. I'd rather get something more like this, where it's like tongue and groove laminate stuff. They don't have quite enough of it, but I'm guessing if we check back here every once in a while, they might get a shipment of a few boxes or something, just enough to cover the van. That would be great.
We're not putting anything this heavy into our van. We're being conscious about weight just to make gas mileage and stuff better. don't get me wrong, our van can carry some weight, but we're trying to keep it as light as possible. There's a lot of extra pieces of granite and stuff here. That's cool to see. I keep thinking a lot about sink and sink placement. A lot of this stuff is meant to have a countertop on top of it and then a sink, but I'm a lot taller, and I kind of was thinking I could make it convenient on myself and have a taller sink, you know. If this is big enough for our Dometic sink, which actually I think it's a couple inches too short, that could be perfect, because that's a little bit more waist high for me. And then we have a couple water jugs inside, and it's ready to go. But I'm not going to pull the trigger on anything cabinet-wise and stuff today. We're going to get that wood figured out and then move on to something like this. But I'm glad to see all this so cheap, because it was not that cheap at the last place. Bruh, look at this aisle. Sinks, toilets, commodes, as we call them in Kentucky. Commodes. I'm thinking about something like this, but turned on its side. This is meant to be vertical, but with some arms to hold it open. That can be turned on its side and put up in the corner of the van. But I'm waiting to run across something that's the right size. And there's a couple of at least, because these could go right over our bed space. And Hannah and I essentially have one each for our clothing or personal items, etc. And it's going to require coming to this store or these stores frequently and just getting lucky, just like we do at the thrift store. Just the right thing showing up just once, and we got it, and we got it for cheap. That's the mindset. These are okay too, but not quite ideal. But again, I'll take the right thing when it shows up. All right, well, you know, we know what we're looking at now. We know this store definitely has more stuff and at better prices. They seem to have some sort of color-coded system too, like Goodwill's do. Certain stuff's gonna get cheaper as time goes by. So be expecting a lot more of this store. There are more stores like this in town. We gotta quit today. We gotta go home and saw some of this wood. But we've learned a lot today. Our future looks brighter.
It smells like a lumber yard in here.
Yes, it does. All right, I have a very specific plan to tackle these pallets. So I have just been cutting off the last inch or so where these are nailed on as the cut down seriously on the amount of nails I have to cut out. Sucks losing a couple inches, but it's well worth the time saved. How's this looking?
No longer have Arizona dome ceilings.
Good work.
Yay!
I've got like 4 pallets down, about 30 to go.
Woohoo!
I've been very careful all along the way to get every single nail out one by one. Nothing worse than somebody who leaves nails laying around. Just put them in your pocket, throw them away. So this isn't going to really be quite enough wood, I believe, to finish this whole thing out top to bottom, but that's okay, because what I'm gonna do to just kind of take this step by step is start kitting it out from the front back. So there's actually a space up there that the walls are further in than they are back here, and I'm gonna take this first big bunch of wood, I'm gonna insulate that, and I'm gonna wood panel it, and then basically that side, as soon as this wood paneled with this very wood, I'm going to immediately turn it into a rolling workshop for our sewing machine, etc. And then this side is going to be like a sink kitchenette area as soon as it's wood paneled with this wood. So I think this wood here will be enough Whew. Enough to get me through those two parts, and then we'll come back further to some closet and seating area, and then further back to the bed. And it's going to be really good to go in that order, because one of the last things I got to do is do something about this door. This draw door is the weakest link of the whole van. It leaks, air comes through it, it's rotting. It's just, it was, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, it's awful, it's bad. So seriously, when it rains, it gets pretty moist around here, which is where our bed will be, and we don't want that. So I'm gonna have to take this down, put something else up, kind of insulate these parts of the van better. And that's pretty much gonna be amongst the hardest things to do to this van. So I'm pretty happy to kind of start up there and come back as we go. This is gonna be enough wood to get us started. I'm happy about it. How do you feel about it? You know, I have pretty extensive vinyl sticker knowledge, and I know for a fact normally you hit this stuff with heat and it comes right off. But it actually hasn't been necessary. All this has been so like dry rotted and stuff. Hannah's just been going over it a little bit, but a little bit it just flakes right off with the scraper. However, for whatever reason, this A and this R, the last little bit, don't want to come off for nothing. So if that continues to be a problem, I'll have to go get the heat gun. But it's kind of funny we haven't needed it till now. Whew. Many pallets to go. I'm gonna have to get a push broom if this keeps up. Not effective. We'll leave this parking lot a little bit prettier than we found it. Sweeping up dirt and everything else. Hannah, you're so close.
It's almost gone.
The last little bit. I'm thinking tomorrow's episode, we'll probably hit a thrift store or two or something, and then I'm just gonna spend the day on pallets, because there's no way this is gonna get tackled unless we just tackle it. Hannah's got a lot of custom orders to get out, so we might kind of split up for tomorrow's episode after the thrifting, and I van it and Hannah jeans it. I don't know. Sounds like it might have to be the plan though. So we've owned this van for how many days now? 1 officially.
4.
We've had it in our possession for 3 or 4 days, and I've just been learning a ton, an absolute ton about the motor in this thing. Way different than anything I've owned yet. It's a V8, it's the first V8 I've owned. I've owned a lot of vans, but they've been V6s. It's just different. It's got a lot more going on. I think maybe I know a little bit more about motors than the average person. Maybe just a little, not even anything huge. I've certainly always tried to fix my own cars, and I've done so pretty successfully for the most part. So just learning what's going on here has just been, it's been fun, but it's been just kind of a little bit overwhelming. Just standing here checking the belts. I understand the belts in this thing a little bit better than I did prior to today. There's more belts in this engine than I thought there was, but I know now. My belts look pretty healthy, but I think I'm gonna go ahead over the next few days and take them off, check them, and if they're not perfect, I'm just gonna replace them. I don't wanna be out on the highway on this thing and the belts fail me. So that's kind of what I'm checking here in this parking lot, but we're good. We're looking good. You feel good about it?
Yeah.
All right, well guys, listen, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you liked anything about this video, hit the like button. More importantly though, hit the subscribe button. Help us get to 10,000 subs. We're really close. We went up like 100 subs just like yesterday and the day, half the day before, because of all the excitement over our new bread truck. So help us keep it up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Give us a subscribe for old Betsy here, full of pallets and Hannah's bike. I think that just deserves a subscribe all on its own. And then we'll catch you tomorrow, because we do post daily videos on this channel. So we'd love to have you back tomorrow. And until tomorrow, guys, peace out. This is how cold it is this morning. I woke up, Hannah's asleep. Toby's here all snuggled up in the blanket like a cat burrito. He's so beautiful. You're a cat burrito, Toby.